Then they asked me that, what if all the recommended students want to go to a pub? Would you join them? And I said yes. And what if your brother said no to it? What will you do?
Then he also asked me one suggestion. So I told him that there is no suggestion, everything is perfect in the board. So he told me that, okay, remain seated over here and I will only make you leave this conference hall once you give me one suggestion. So I told him, sir, there is no suggestion and you can make me remain seated. So he said, okay, remain seated till 4. I said, okay, sir. I was smiling over there. Then he immediately mentioned that, okay, get out.
Why you are having a small haircut? Please tell me about that. And what is the story behind that? क्या ये reason है छोटे बाल रख के लड़कियाँ recommend हो जाती हैं? Because there is also one saying that if you'll be having a small haircut, you'll get recommended.
Tips, sir. Socialize in SSBs.
Yeah, good tip.
Yeah. It will give you confidence, sir.
And so then I saw Apoorva because we were part of various classroom sessions online over here. So I just cross-checked with her that whether she is from TDF family or not. Then I got to know, she discovered that yes, she is from Haldwani and she is from TDF. So that was the first and last conversation that I had with her. And after that day, I am seeing her over here only.
And also some physical fitness for girls. As I've seen in my prior attempts that girls are not able to, girls are very good at other things, but physical fitness is low.
Jai Hind everyone, I'm Vivek Pandey. Welcome back in Target Defense Forces. So we are proud to announce that today we have got two of our candidates who have got their joining letter recently for the SSC Tech entry. The number one is Apoorva, who had secured All India Rank 1 this time for SSC Tech, and Utkarsh, जो भी recommend हुए अपने 8th attempt में for SSC Tech entry. और इनके साथ सुनंदन भी रिकमेंड हुए हैं और ही हैज़ ऑल्सो रिसीव द जॉइनिंग लेटर. बट आज हम बात करेंगे अपूर्वा एंड उत्कर्ष की एंड विल बी नोइंग देयर एक्सपीरियंस दैट कैसा उनको फील हुआ आफ्टर गेटिंग द जॉइनिंग लेटर. अपूर्वा एक्चुअली 2 times मेरिट आउट हुई थी इससे पहले अटेम्प्ट्स में एंड दिस टाइम शी नॉट ओनली गॉट इन टू मेरिट बट ऑल्सो टॉप्ड द मेरिट बाय securing All India Rank 1. So Apoorva, how are you feeling this time? And after getting your name in the top merit, how did you feel? Please tell about that experience of yours.
Sir, I'm feeling very good, and it was a surprise to me that I secured rank All India 1, and I was very surprised.
So Apoorva, please tell me about your journey. Like कैसा लगा आपको? Like अपने अभी तक preparation आपकी चल रही थी. Continuously you were getting recommended but merit out. But this time, were you expecting that you'll come into merit, or what happened this time? Please tell me about that moment once you got your merit list. जब देखा आपने अपना नाम top of the merit. How was your actual feeling? What was your response that time? Please tell me about that.
So my journey, this was my 6th attempt, and in which I got screened out twice, recommended thrice, and conferenced out once. And I was waiting for this merit list, but it was a surprise to me, as I've already mentioned, that it was a surprise to me, and I called my parents that moment. and I thank God for this All India Rank 1, and it was a great surprise to me. So.
Now please tell me about your all experiences, like कैसा आपके experience थे बाकी entries में, as you have mentioned that it was your 6th attempt, right? 2 times screen out, 1 conference and 2 recommendation, 3rd time you got into merit after recommendation, right? So please tell about entire journey, कब से आपने start किया defense में, and from where you got motivated to join defense forces. Please share to our viewers about the same.
So I started my journey from 2022, and June 2022 was my first attempt. It was serious attempt. I scored really well but got screened out. But then my second attempt I was prepared for my second attempt, and my second attempt was FCAT attempt, and it was in Mysore. I got conferenced out. The third attempt, when I met sir, and he took my interview 3 days before my SSB, and that he was a lucky charm for me. And that SSB I cleared, and I got All India Rank 4. And after that I got screened out once, and then there was 2 recommendation, and this recommendation was from Bangalore, and I got All India Rank 1.
SSB चल रही थी, तो what were the challenges that you were facing that time? Please tell about those challenges. क्या दिक्कत आ रही थी आपको? What interview was the process? I still remember जब आप आए थे, जब join किया था आपने. At that time you were worried about your interview that time. So like interview मुझे डर लगता है. And let me tell you one thing, guys. Apoorva is so talented girl. She is into mountaineering. She told about her passion towards the things कि क्या उसे करना है, and accordingly we framed the answers for the same. And passionately she told about the things. Please share that particular experience कि कैसा रहा आपका actual SSB interview में आपके साथ. क्या questions थे, कहाँ पे आप stuck कर रही थी, कहाँ पे आप serious थी, कहाँ पे confident थी. Please tell me about those things.
So in that interview, the interviewing officer targeted me on the particular term that I want to go into Corps of Engineers, and particularly I want to go into combat engineering. So he was particularly pressurizing me that what if you get MES or BRO. So I was like, no sir, I would prefer going into combat engineering. So that is the experience, and finally I said, no sir, if I won't get combat engineer, I won't get into the academy. That was one of the experience. I am not sure that was the right answer, but I discussed that answer with my sir, and then he told me what else we can do.
So Apoorva, मुझे बताओ आप कि like you got a screen out first, then conference out, then you got recommended. What changes you made in your routine, या आपने preparation में changes किए so that you got recommended in your next attempt? Please tell about those things. What are the major changes that you have made?
The things which I analyzed after my first 2 performance, like conference, especially for my conference out, that my confidence level was not that good. So I worked on my confidence level. I indulged myself in different activities, and also I introspected this thing that my answer, the way I framed my answer, were not good. So I wrote those answers and tried to frame them in a very good way so that they are more presentable. Apart from this, for my interview, I joined sir on the recommendation of Indu Bhandari. She is currently under training in Indian Naval Academy. She got introduced to sir through our junior Himanshu Pandey, who was All India Rank 1 for serious entry, and that helped me get recommended.
So Apoorva, unfortunately you got merit out even after getting recommended this time. Please tell me, after getting 2 times consecutively merit out, basically recommended then merit out, how differently you performed, or how did you outperform this time in your SSB, and what was the difference in your preparation as well as in performance in your actual SSB that helped you out to top the merit? Also tell me about some interesting events or some interesting incidents that happened in your SSB this time, either in your conference or your interview or your psychology. Please tell about all the things in detail, starting with the psychology. What happened in the psychology, followed by interview, followed by conference.
So sir, my 2 recommendations helped me to gain the confidence, and I was way more confident than in my first SSB. So the other things like the psychology part was very normal, like it went the previous time. It was the same, and my interview was a bit boring for me. They asked me the basic questions, but my conference was very interesting, sir. For the first time I was waiting for 10-15 minutes, and then my conference went for 5 minutes. So that was the interesting part. They asked me different questions like what I was thinking while entering the room. I was thinking something. So what I was thinking. And I told them that I was analyzing the performance. Then they asked me that what if all the recommended students want to go to a pub? Would you join them? And I said yes. And what if your brother said no to it? What will you do? And I answered that. And after that they asked me that what if you get recommended this time till the academy, what will you do? So I told them that I'll join basic mountaineering course or other, I'll go for trekking. And then they told, and I also mentioned this thing that I'll wait till the merit. And this was the most interesting part, which I had never had long conference, and this was one. Prior to the merit day, I was thinking about serious entry 3rd of September, and I was like, oh man, I have not studied anything, and I was so mad that I have not planned anything like this. I was like, okay. The next day my merit came mid-afternoon, I guess. So mid-afternoon my merit came, and I was like, okay, don't have to study for serious now.
I would like to continue this incident. Like when your merit came, then I got the call from Utkarsh. Utkarsh का कॉल आया और बोलते हैं सब मेरिट लिस्ट आ चुकी है एंड बैड न्यूज़, मैं और सुनंदन बोथ गॉट मेरिट आउट. दे वर डाउन इन द मेरिट. एक्चुअली कितने कैंडिडेट्स रिकमेंड हुए थे आपके इसमें? 30 candidates got recommended and their position was 28 and 29 and 26 were the seats. And he said Apoorva topped the merit this time, and that was the situation for me. It was catch-22 situation for me. Whether shall I be happy for Apoorva or shall I be sad for these people? And then I confirmed it with Apoorva, and you told, yes sir, I just saw it happened. Please tell me about that thing. कैसे आपको joining letter मिला even after getting merit out?
फर्स्टली सर, जब हम लोग मेरिट आउट हुए थे उस समय हमें पता चल गया था कि एक तो सारे बच्चों को जो है अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी एकेडमी जाने की, और दूसरे से मेरे से ऊपर कुछ बच्चों ने नॉन वॉलंटियर्स फॉर्म पहले ही साइन कर दिए थे. उनके मेडिकल इश्यूज़ थोड़े ज़्यादा थे और सर वो रेक्टिफाई नहीं हो सकते थे, तो उन्होंने पहले ही गिव अप कर दिया था. तो सर इतना मुझे पता चल गया था कि आई विल बी देयर इन द टॉप 26 इवन इफ दे विल बी सीकिंग फॉर टॉप 26. तो सर वो देखा. बट सर उसके अलावा मैंने ये भी देखा कि विमेंस एंट्री में मैं जिसको जानता था अपूर्वा, तो मैंने जैसे ही उसका देखा कि सिविल में शी इज टॉप, तो सर इट वॉज समथिंग अ मैटर ऑफ प्राइड कि सर बहुत कभी कभी हमारे टाउन से लोग ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 भी करते हैं. सो इट वॉज अ मैटर ऑफ प्राइड फॉर मी. मैंने आपको इन्फॉर्म किया दैट वॉज गुड. एंड सर सुनंदन, ही वॉज अगेन ही वॉज इन टू टीयर्स, और सर बहुत टेंशन में था कि क्या होगा. बट सर नाउ फाइनली ही हैज़ ऑल्सो गॉट हिज जॉइनिंग लेटर, सो ही इज ऑल्सो वेरी हैप्पी.
So let me tell you one thing. These two people are from Haldwani and Sunandan is from Jammu. Actually, he is not available over here just because of the same reason. Actually, he has to do a lot of work. We are right now in Haldwani only. Apoorva, I am having an interesting question for you. Please tell me one thing about your haircut. Why you are having a small haircut? First of all, tell me which style this haircut is known as. Please tell me about that. And what is the स्टोरी बिहाइंड दैट? क्या ये रीज़न है छोटे बाल रख के लड़कियाँ रिकमेंड हो जाती हैं? बिकॉज दिस इज ऑल्सो वन सेइंग दैट इफ यूल बी हैविंग ए स्मॉल हेयर कट यूल गेट रिकमेंडेड. बिकॉज वी हैव सीन निधि ऑल्सो, राइट, in our group. She also got recommended. She was also having this haircut. Please tell me about which hairstyle is this and what is the story behind that?
So I guess this hairstyle is known as pixie cut, and I had it since 2020. So back then I was not giving my SSB. So I felt that I feel more confident when I have this haircut, and I feel more empowered, and that's the reason why I cut this hair. There's nothing related to SSB.
SSB is not behind that.
No sir, I don't think so. There's anything apart from your personality that can help you in the SSB.
So fine. अब हम बात करेंगे उत्कर्ष से. उत्कर्ष, पहले तो ये बताओ, you got recommended in 8th attempt. कहाँ पे लैग करते थे in previous 7 attempts? Where you went wrong? Please tell about those areas. How you especially prepared this time? और क्या हुआ इस बार स्पेशल ऐसा कि आप रिकमेंड हुए? Please tell about it.
सर फर्स्टली सर फर्स्ट जो मेरे अटैम्प्ट्स थे स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द नेवी अटैम्प्ट दैट वाज इन द ईयर 2020. सो एट दैट टाइम आई वाज ill prepared and I was so very casual towards life. So I was not preparing too much and I was doing everything to enjoy myself. to make my mind comfortable with. But so gradually when it came up to my last attempt, and it was literally one day when I was thinking that all my dreams are shattering, as joining the armed forces was one of the most important dream that I could desire. And it was like on the verge of getting into tears that the last dream that I saw for myself is shattering. So I took the onus that day, as I had just been screened out from the AFSB. That was for my final attempt over there. So at that time, sir, I became very, very serious and very, very grounded also, because my approach at that time was that I'll do everything, but the path that I was choosing was not defined for me. Then things became more defined, more distinguished, and then I got through this time.
Fine. So, what was the special preparation you did? Please tell me about that, and how did you prepare for the SSB apart from this platform? Please tell about those things.
So apart from this platform, so I took help from various YouTube channels to boost my energy and my knowledge for current affairs. So daily I used to see some defense related videos so that I could enhance my knowledge for defense, and it could also improvise my thinking about how to get into armed forces and what all things. There were various officers like Major Vivek Jacob and other para commandos whom I used to aspire to be like. So I used to see their videos very frequently. I used to learn from the operations that they have done, all the places where they have been posted to. I used to interact with all the people around me who were also having similar goals. So this kept me motivated, and the most important thing that I kept for myself was to be cheerful in every circumstance, because I thought this will be the fundamental thing that will get me through into the forces also. And even if not forces, outside the forces, being cheerful will surely help me.
So Utkarsh, like you have been the part of Target Defense Forces family for past long time. Now please tell me, like क्या क्या changes आपको अपनी personality में मिले यहाँ पे, कैसे कैसे आपने सीखा, क्या क्या चीज़ आपने की. Please do share about that experience of yours.
So fortunately, I was a member of TDF family for a very long time. But unfortunately, it took way too long for me to get out of TDF family and get into some of the academies. So things that motivated me was like I had one last attempt of mine of SSC Tech 60 at Bhopal. So I think that was the turning point that I would mention over here, because at that time I was considering myself to get recommended at that particular moment over there. But I was not physically well at that time in the SSB, and also there were some more things that I was lacking over there. And so after doing a detailed analysis about that, I thought that I will carry on with my preparations for the forthcoming attempts. At that time, sir, I was also thinking that my approach has always been a very shallow approach. I would say that it was not having any practical approach at that point of time. But sir, after that I came here and I looked upon my personality, and then sir, I became more grounded. And also sir, I spoke to everybody, like every officer that I met, and I was thinking that all of them are having very, very practical approach, and also they are very, very grounded towards things. Like even after being an officer into the elite armed forces, they are not having any sort of ego or anything. And sir, I thought that I had started carrying certain sort of ego at that point of time. So I started doing with small work that I used to see. Like I took part in various cleanliness drive. Even on Republic Day this year, so we took part in cloth donation drive, and I think I did every sincere effort that I could do. So all these things, they made me more grounded, and they made me more sincere towards my approach of getting into the armed forces. And also sir, there were various members in the TDF organization. So apart from you sir, you have always been my guiding force for getting into armed forces. Even when I gave up, so you were the only one who told me that yes, you can do. You fueled my motivation. But so there were certain members over here like Sunandan. He got recommended 1 week prior to my recommendation. So he got recommended, so it became something to be abridged by me in my life. And also sir, Ankita, she contributed me in my improving in my SRTs, in my SD and every part. So I think sir, interacting with every member over here, it helped me a lot. And seeing their experiences, I also learned something, and it transformed my personality as well.
Fine Utkarsh, I still remember जब आप recommend हुए, तो basically after your conference, before your result, you contacted me. You told me that your chest number is 21 that time, ठीक है ना? You told my conference went quite okay, quite good, quite different this time. and you were quite happy, satisfied, and a bit confused also कि होगा क्या आगे. But once your result came out, you contacted me again and you said, sir, negative this time again. And that was the moment I thought कि यार इतना देने के बाद भी he is not getting recommended. And you told, कि sir, like these many candidates have got recommended, this chest number, and you told about your chest number, like 21. Then I recalled it, मैंने कहा भाई 21 was your chest number, right? You said yes. And you tricked me that time by fluking about your chest number that time, and you said, sir, yes, I made it this time. Please tell me about that particular experience. Before that, I want to know about your interview. Like what sort of questions were asked this time in your interview and how you performed in your interview this time, as well as about your conference. Also share some of the interesting events, interesting incidents of your interview, conference or GTO. Please share about these things.
So talking about my interview, so my interview was on the third day. So it was one amongst the last interviews that we were expecting on that particular day, and so I was called over there. So most of the questions that were asked to me were from the armed forces, and they asked me about my interest in paras and what is the how paras they operate and why para. I told them everything that I knew, and so then they asked me something about international relations. And after coming back from the international relations, he asked me that, did you talk to your father? I said yes. He said, what did you talk to him last? I said, I asked him about what is going on in Pakistan, because most of the questions were being asked from Pakistan in interviews. So he said, okay, what did he tell you? So there was something that was going on over there. Prime Minister over there, Imran Khan, he got arrested. So he asked me what is the name of his party, what is the name of the other party in Pakistan. So all these questions were asked to me, and so I told him, I gave him good answers over there. I also told him about the India and China relations. So I especially gave a presentation in TDF over here about India, China, India and Tibet. So these things were very much mastered by me. So things were very nice. After that, sir, in my conference, again the same set of questions were asked to me related to my PIQ, what work I was doing and in which company I was a part of. So meanwhile over there, sir, as I was supposed to enter the conference hall, I was asked a question that, what were you wondering outside? So I told Mr. President that all the questions that you would ask. So he said, okay, what should I ask? I said, sir, anything that you wish. So it was more like, sir, it was more like a very formal, informal conversation, we must say, between us. And so every board member was looking at us, that what type of conversations they are having over here. So he asked me, okay, then he told me to rank my performance in the group. And again, I mentioned that it was first in my interview and second in GTO and psychology. So he said, how can you say that you were first in your interview? You haven't heard everybody's interview. So I told him, sir, but I have heard about the experiences and I found my was quite decent than others. So then sir, he was laughing, and he again asked me some bundle of questions related to my personal life, about my father, how will he strive if I'll join the armed forces. Then he also asked me one suggestion. So I told him that there is no suggestion, everything is perfect in the board. So he told me that, okay, remain seated over here and I will only make you leave this conference hall once you give me one suggestion. So I told him, sir, there is no suggestion and you can make me remain seated. So he said, okay, remain seated till 4. I said, okay, sir. I was smiling over there. So he told me, you are happy? I said, yes. Why are you happy? I told him that, sir, I am happy because this was the moment that I was waiting for. It is the first longest conference that I am facing as of now. So he said, okay. Then he immediately mentioned that, okay, get out. So I was a little bit frightened, but sir, I left happily over there. And sir, after the conference results were announced, so my roll number was chest number was announced in the second number. So over there, sir, I was looking when they announced my chest number 21. So I was shocked, and so that was the time when that prank, it struck my mind that yes, I can play that prank with somebody. And sir, the most suitable person I found was you, because I was also tricked that my chest number is being called, and everybody behind me told me just go forward. I said okay. So then I went over there. He announced my father's name also. So I told him that it's my father's name. He said okay, he also got recommended through you. So that was some interesting conversation that I had. And so that after that, immediately I rang the call to you. And so then I played the same prank.
Fine. So this was the journey of Utkarsh. Utkarsh, now please tell me one more thing. Like you have mentioned that you got recommended just after Sunandan, right? So, like, let me tell you one thing. Pehle Sunandan recommended was from the same board a week before. After that, Utkarsh got recommended. Once his medicals was going on, he met Apoorva over there, who was undergoing the SSB interview. So after that, she also got recommended from the same board. They three got recommended that time from the Bangalore itself. So this was the interesting part. Please tell me about how was your conversation over there, like once you met Apoorva.
So actually, sir, being in SSB, so talking to girls is something not very appropriate that is being considered over there amongst the staff members and amongst the candidates as well. So there were certain friends that we made over there. There were certain girls who were asking us about the questions that are being asked in the interview, and they were also having some of the tests over there. And so then I saw Apoorva because we were part of various classroom sessions online over here. So I just cross-checked with her that whether she is from TDF family or not. Then I got to know, she discovered that yes, she is from Haldwani and she is from TDF. So that was the first and last conversation that I had with her. And after that day, I am seeing her over here only.
Finally, I want you both to give some tips or suggestions to our audience or candidates who are going to appear for the upcoming SSBs कि उन्हें क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, कौन-कौन से key areas हैं जहाँ पर उन्हें focus करना चाहिए. So starting from Utkarsh.
First point I would like to mention is clarity of mind. One should be clear about his thoughts, focus on his actions, and he must be clear what he has to do in life. Second thing I would say that friends, anybody he or she who is preparing must have like-minded friends. And third thing is they should have zeal of hard work so that they can stay motivated, so that they can aspire and achieve their goals well in time.
I believe that one should have appropriate knowledge of what they want to do in their personal life, about their SSB as well, like if they want to go into the armed forces, in which section they want to go and everything. This will give them the sense of confidence so that they can tackle the questions very well. Also, I feel that especially for the female candidate, they should travel solo, they should explore the places and should, come forward and accept the challenges which they are. Also, I believe that there is a video by Sir. The video is very nice. It helped me in my interview process. One should follow that and see that video and make structured notes out of it so that they have structured answer. Yes, sir, that's it.
Any more points Utkarsh you want to add?
So one more thing that I would like to add is one should be consistent towards his hard work, so that if the consistency it plays a main role, so that if somebody is more frequent towards his PPDT sessions, GD lecturates over here, so that he can improve his personality also and performance also, so that he or she can do good not only in SSB but also in various other spheres of his life.
Sir, I am having two more points. One is like you have to have a backup because it is very difficult for girls to get merit in. So a backup is very important for your stability, for your mental peace, and also some physical fitness for girls. As I've seen in my prior attempts that girls are not able to, girls are very good at other things but physical fitness is low. So one should have adequate physical fitness before going to the SSB.
So one more thing I would like to add to the audience, sir. So the first thing is I would like to say is that anybody who is preparing for any sort of defense related examination, he should come to TDF because over here he'll get a very good mentorship under you, and also they are very good supportive friends over here. So the motto that is we rise by lifting others of TDF is something very much implemented by each and every candidate who is preparing over here. So I think that people should join here, sir, and they should also visit the YouTube channel so that they can go through all the YouTube videos as they are very, very informative, and also the lectures that have been made by all the students, they are very much content rich, and they are very good for SSB perspective. So I would like to suggest each and everybody who is preparing for SSB or any other defense related examination to come under TDF and be a part.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Thank you so much, Apoorva. All the very best for your new life, new phase. Do well in academy also. Come with the stars on your shoulders. See you soon.